Pokemon Go is certainly going to be changing up in the next couple of months. There's going to be an increase to the level cap to 80, and of course, there's going to be a whole bunch of things added to Pokemon Go. I really want to talk about how I feel is the state of the game, and that's precisely what this video is going to be all about. Let's get right into it. Alright, how's it going everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. Alright, so today I'm going to be kind of giving my thoughts regarding the current state of the game when it comes to Pokemon Go. I do feel like there's a lot of things that Niantic did really well over the past couple of months, but there's also some things that are major concerns, especially when it comes to some of the things that we know are coming to Pokemon Go, along with some of the things that we are going to be speculating about. I do feel like there are certainly a lot of things to be feeling very positive about, but at the same time, I do feel like Pokemon Go could be a lot better. And the reason why I say that is because for myself, I'm finding it very hard to actually play the game. Like, I do feel like there are a lot of things that kind of fell off, and my excitement for the game has certainly seen a drastic decline for a variety of different reasons. But first, let's talk about some of the positives, especially in relation to some of the things that are coming. So of course, we know that the level cap is going to be increased to level 80, and I think that's going to produce a lot of interesting, results when it comes to Pokemon Go. I think it's going to be a completely different game. I think for a lot of players who are going to want to hit the level cap, there's certainly going to be, challenges that we will have to deal with. And I do think that overall, like when it comes to raid battles, when it comes to Dynamax content and all that sort of stuff, there could essentially be like a major, it just feels like with the increase to the level cap to this degree, a lot of content is going to become very trivial. Maybe I'm wrong here, but it does feel like power creep is going to be a major factor. Because if you think about it, leveling up our Pokemon to level 80, that's certainly going to allow us to be able to take on certain raid bosses much easier than we were before. When it comes to Dynamax content, that's certainly going to change things up. It really feels like the game could be pushed towards a more solo-friendly content, and I'm okay with that, personally. But it could also produce a lot of things and a lot of challenges for Niantic on the design end, because they need to keep up with the player power that we're about to get. Because if Pokemon are going to be powered up even more, that means when it comes to raid bosses, there may not necessarily be a challenge anymore, and they do need to keep that in mind. Of course, this could open up the doors for a lot of really cool and exciting stuff, like maybe they're going to add a higher tier of raid bosses. Of course, in the past, we had something called elite raids, and in case you don't remember, those are actually a lot more difficult compared to your average legendary raid. And I was actually in favor of that. I did like the idea of there being some challenging content in Pokemon Go. But with the increase to the level cap, we're not going to see a lot of that stuff outright. I'm not saying that it's a problem, that the game is going to be easier, but when you think about what gets players really engaged with Pokemon Go, typically it involves a lot of the challenging content, and of course a lot of the things that requires just a lot of effort and a lot of grind. If Niantic is taking away some of that, it's inevitably going to produce some boredom within the Pokemon Go community. Speaking of boredom, I think one of the things that we can be really excited about is the increase to the level cap itself, because you got to think about it. If they increase the level cap, there's now a new goal for a lot of players to go for. I know there's a lot of players who have still not yet hit the current level cap of level 50, and that is of course because the challenges that are required for you to complete in order to hit level 50 are just incredibly difficult, and for some players just outright impossible. I think the level cap being increased, that's going to produce some gameplay that, for someone like myself, I haven't felt in a very long time. I'm going to be going out and grinding experience. I'm going to be going out and pushing myself to get to level 80 as quick as possible. It's definitely going to be fun, because when they increased the level cap initially, that was a lot of fun. Getting to level 50, that was very exciting, it was very challenging, and it gave me something to work on every single day. And I am excited at the idea of them bringing that back with this increase to the level cap. So yeah, those are some positives. I do think that need to be highlighted regarding Pokemon Go. And it really all involves some of the things that Niantic is going to be implementing. And then there's a bunch of other things that players have been asking for, such as remote trading, that there's going to be some item that will allow us to do remote trades. That's something that is going to produce a lot of positivity for Pokemon Go. But yeah, I do think there are things to be concerned about at the same time. I do think that overall, the gameplay loop is something that has not changed for the past several years. The game is still what it is. It's all about going out and collecting Pokemon. If you have all the Pokemon that you are seeing, it's not going to feel as exciting. And then when it comes to finding rare Pokemon, and when it comes to finding Pokemon that are definitely worthwhile, you really don't ever see that. You don't ever really feel that excitement that a lot of players initially felt when it came to Pokemon Go. I think that is something Niantic should look into. I've been saying this for a very long time, but there needs to be something in Pokemon Go that will actually get you really excited to go out and play, because as of right now, it just feels like it's just all about the grind. The only reason why you would go out and play Pokemon Go is because you need Stardust, or you need candies, or maybe if there is a particular raid boss that is actually really good and hasn't been in raids in a long time, maybe you'd go after that. It just doesn't feel like there is a lot of fulfilling content in Pokemon Go right now. I think there was a little bit of it when they introduced golden bottle caps, but that was so short-lived. Maybe I did it completely wrong. I used my golden bottle cap on a Pokemon where it only took me about a week to get it to 100% IVs. Maybe I should have used it on a Pokemon that has way less IVs, so it would have taken me longer to max it out. Maybe what they need to do is increase the frequency of releasing golden bottle caps. I really do not know what the case may be, but it does feel like the game was really hot for a little bit of time, and then it fizzled out just as quickly. So yeah, I feel a little bit concerned about that. I feel like it's been really hard for me to be compelled to play Pokemon Go on the daily. I feel like at this point, I'm just opening up the game, getting my first catch of the day, maybe my first spin of the day, and then I'm essentially done. I mean, some of the in-game events that we've had so far, they're pretty decent. Like right now, it's all about getting the shiny Psyduck with the new costume. But even so, like, I just don't feel like it's worth it to go out and grind. Maybe that's just me. So yeah, I think there's some things that Niantic needs to look into, especially when it comes to the general gameplay loop. There needs to be something that will allow the experience to be a lot more fulfilling. Maybe they need to do some more things to get players more on board with some aspects of the game, like PvP. I really do not know what the case may be, but right now it does feel like Pokemon Go needs some sort of major change, and maybe the level cap getting increased will be enough, but maybe it may not be, and that is definitely a concern. So in any case, yeah, that's pretty much all I really have to say. Of course, this is just a lot of my own personal opinions about what I believe is the current state of Pokemon Go. Maybe for some players out there, they're actually really enjoying Pokemon Go right now for a variety of different reasons. Maybe some players are agreeing with me that there just feels like there's something missing with the game. I really do not know, but yeah, ultimately, maybe we can have some really good conversations. Maybe we could talk about some of the ways that Pokemon Go could be a much better game, and who knows, maybe a month from now when they release the new level cap, I'm going to be singing a completely different tune. I really do not know. But in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Definitely share your thoughts regarding everything that I talked about down below in the comments. Do you feel like you have any thoughts regarding the current state of Pokemon Go? I would definitely like to hear it, so make sure you share them down below, and yeah, let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you ended up enjoying it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget that notification bell so you know exactly when I upload videos. And real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the best way you can do that is going to be by joining my Patreon. And if you decide to become a paid Patreon member, I'm going to add you to my Pokemon Go friends list. That means for stuff like remote raids, the friendship system, opening and sending gifts, different things like that. If you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. I'll put a link to it in the description below. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you could do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms you see on the bottom of your screen right now. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow, and you'll have access to some exclusive content, and you'll be able to keep up with my daily life. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today. Make sure you look in the mirror, tell yourself you're awesome because I think you're awesome, and I'll catch you all later.